But these psychiatric medications, even the SSRIs, they cause profound sexual dysfunction, which is something that many people don't realize as well.
Like you're talking about ED, basically? It doesn't work, or?
So there's two things there. So the first thing is that when people get on SSRIs, about 70% of them will experience, so it would be erectile dysfunction, it would be lower libido, muted orgasms as well, just a loss of interest. And they are told when they get on these medications, hey, this is just the trade-off for not being depressed. It will go away when you come off the medication. What we have been finding recently, not that recently, over the last 20 years, is some people, when they come off these medications, the sexual dysfunction does not go away. It is permanent. And so they develop a condition called Post-SSRI Sexual Dysfunction. Based on what I've seen in the literature, the incidence is about 1 in 216, which...
What?
Yeah, which is a huge amount when you
1 in 200,000, I would never touch it. I would never even consider. 1 in 216 men who use SSRIs will have permanent sexual dysfunction.
That's what I've seen on one study that has looked into that. And so if you think about 8% of men in the US are taking these medications, that's a lot of people. Now, so what PSSD does, and this is, psychiatrists and doctors have been trying to explain this away for decades by saying it's performance anxiety. Hey, you have depression and anxiety, you're complaining about, your sexual functioning didn't return, you're just anxious, you have performance anxiety or something like that. They literally, it's a horrific thing. They will develop something called genital anesthesia, where they lose erogenous sensation down there, and it feels like, what used to be sexually arousing actually just feels like you're touching the back of your hand or your arm. And so the sensation changes. On top of that, they have the erectile dysfunction, loss of libido, all of that. They also develop cognitive, really bad cognitive dysfunction, brain fog, and they feel lobotomized. They start to feel very dissociated, like severely numbed out on the medication, to the point where they say, if I hug my kids or I hug my spouse, I don't get a warm feeling. When I listen to that song from my childhood that I used to really enjoy, I don't get those prickles on the back of my neck of nostalgia anymore. They feel totally disconnected. And people hear me talking about this, and they say, they look like you right now. They look wide-eyed in disbelief, Michael. And then I tell them, this is already in the drug labels in the European Union. It's in the drug labels in Canada. It's in the drug labels in Hong Kong. It's in the drug labels in Australia. And this is where I'm so upset with the United States. 6 years ago, the PSSD network coordinated with other scientific professionals to submit a citizen's petition to the FDA to get this put on the drug labels, and they've essentially just let it sit on the back burner. They have not addressed it. This group also sued the FDA saying, hey, we need an action on this because the regulations say that they have to reply, I think it's within 180 days, to any citizen's petition. So they were asking, they were saying, here is the evidence. This is the same dossier we've given to the European Union, to Australia, to Canada. They have acted on this. They have put it in the labels. They are warning doctors about this problem already. FDA has just sat on this for 6 years. They sued them last year, I think it was earlier on this year, to say, hey, we really want a decision about this. This is important. People need to know. And they dismissed it on a technicality. The FDA is sitting on this because they are trying to cover up one of the biggest scandals in modern medical history right now. And I think it is simply a disgrace what's happening.
Are you hopeful that this will now get through thanks to a change in regime and Secretary Kennedy?
I'm very hopeful that this will come through, because the thing that's happened in psychiatry recently, which is very unique, we're at a really interesting moment in time. Both conservative and liberal media are starting to actually turn on the establishment. For a long time, it's just been the conservative outlets, but we've had articles in New York Times, Washington Post, NPR, and once you start getting liberal media as well as conservative talking about these issues, then that's where I think it's almost like the shame or the embarrassment or the fact that this is going to be a PR disaster for them is building up. So I actually think they are going to put it in there. But I think it's really sad because the American public, they deserved better than this. The FDA will review an entire dossier of scientific information, multiple clinical trials and animal studies in 9 months to get a drug from a pharmaceutical company onto the market. But they've had this report for 6 years and haven't done anything. It's like their emphasis is on helping the drug companies and not on actually helping the American population.
Well,